grin on his face.
2-3-3-2 type of guy to defend other teams.
Oh, no! Brandon Knight. Oh, no! Oh, no! Oh, no! It is nothing. Down by as many as 16 in this game. What a spin move! So-hand the destroyer!
Caruso on him, backing in. Continues to go to work with the move and the throwdown. Vicious. Scotty.
Pacers down 5 halfway through the third quarter. Downtown Indianapolis. Turner.
Ahead to Banchero. Banchero going to take it, fly over the top of Joseph and draw the foul.
On March 5, 2007, the Golden State Warriors defeated the reigning Eastern Conference champions, the Detroit Pistons. This win ended a difficult 6-game losing streak. It also sparked one of the most legendary moments in Warriors history, the We Believe run. Led by visionary coach Don Nelson, this unique group, including Jason Richardson, Baron Davis, Matt Barnes, Steven Jackson, and Monte Ellis, captivated the heart of Dub Nation as they led the Warriors on a whopping 16-5 run to end the season.
Well, do you believe in the Warriors now?
That building was as loud as I've ever heard it. People were so happy to see the Warriors become a factor. It was really a movement at that time.
It was just a crazy experience to think that really we made it to the second round and it's still something that's talked about 10 years later. I think we've really captured the imagination of the NBA and we made history.
Yo, what's good, man? Welcome back to another episode of Past, Present, and Future. I am your host, Smitty, along with my co-host, Trippy OG, and of course, Ariel, man. Ariel de Jesus. I say that right, bro?
That's right.
The Jesus.
With the emphasis, de Jesus.
We got that Latino flavor in here, as you know, a bit of everything on the panel here. We got brown, white, and black, so we got it all. But look, guys, as we do with this series now, we look back at some old teams, man, and a bit of a trip down memory lane, a fun trip down memory lane. And today we're going to be talking about none other than 2006, 2007 Warriors, the We Believe Warriors. Look, man, incredible team. They, for what they did and what they accomplished, especially towards the end of that season, nothing short of impressive. I mean, they didn't go on to win the championship. But they did some impressive things, man. So look, fellas, jump straight into it. What did you guys like? I'm going to go to Trippy first, man. What is your favorite memories of that team? Because I remember playing with that team on like NBA Live and stuff as well. And that was still the thing back then. 2K wasn't quite taken over by that point. I mean, it was a few years off. I still remember using that team. I remember, everybody wanted to be Jason Richardson. Everybody wanted to be Jason Richardson too for a little bit there because of the dunk contest and the high flying. But talk to us, man. Talk to us.
Bro, this right here says it all off the cutback. Like, what? Baron Davis took light on my mans, bro. Do you understand that? Caught the body. Knocked it back. Mind you, he's like this tall compared to that almost 7-footer. It's so real. I don't even remember his name who got dunked on. That's how real it is. His career was over. The most highlighted player I've seen in that era. Like, that was my key thing about that team. Now, it's a lot of great things about this team, but that right there, I'll never forget it. Because I'm a kid. I'm watching cartoons. I switched over to it and caught it right when he did it. Woke everybody up in my crib. Mind you, I wasn't supposed to be up watching TV. I was supposed to be asleep. So that was one of the greatest moments ever. Like, I took that L. Like, by personal I had to take, but I loved it. Like, that dunk will forever be, that's a staple stamp, bro. Like, for little guards, like, bro, took the contact and yammed it on him. I'm done.
Ariel, man, give us your first thoughts. What's one of the first things you think of back to that team? Just in general, man. And it could be anything.
I mean, it was just nostalgic how they were such a, how they just got hot at the end of the season, went 16-5, man, and went on that just got hot at the right time. And then they had 5 guys in double figures, then they had 2 stars, and everybody else was just pretty much mid or average. And for them to go that far and beat a team that Dallas was not an easy team, and Dallas was favored to actually go to the finals that year. And I remember that very vividly, man. Like Trippy was saying, that the dunks, the Baron Davis crossovers, and taking it to the rack, he made everything look so smooth and easy. And then the X factor on that team too, man. A lot of people coming off that bench, man, was Mikael Petras played a big role with that team, especially in that series. And it reminds me kind of the series with the Sonics and the Nuggets, how the Nuggets were able to knock off the Sonics that year. And that whole "we believe" thing was actually a thing, because that team just got hot at the right time and beat a team that, Dallas, especially with Dirk Nowitzki, he was already having problems getting out of the first round, and they called him a fluke until he actually won that title later on in his career. And it just cemented that at that moment. And that team was fun to watch, man. Like you said, on NBA Live, I used them on NBA Live too plenty of times, man. Especially Jason Richardson and Monte Ellis and Al Harrington before he got hurt. That team was made up of guys that they just overachieved, and they believed, and they got high, and they beat a team that was favored, man. And that's how I tell you, momentum is key in the NBA. It's like any given night you could beat anybody. In the playoffs, same thing. All you got to do is get hot at the right time, and they proved that. Golden State was just went down in the history, but just like the Knicks beating the Heat, the Nuggets beating the Sonics, and that was just something that'll be forever remembered and still talked about to this day.
No doubt, man.
You got to add on to it, bro, that I just remembered. They had the 2 bad boys on that team. And I think after this situation, they never played on the same team again.
Yeah,
you know
Stack and Matt
bad
Barnes.
boys talking about?
Stack and Barnes.
Yeah,
Stack and Matt Barnes.
They were basically Shump and J.R. Smith of that team, right? They were getting in trouble, all that sort of stuff. And that's what's forged the bond that's obviously got them to where they are today. And when they recently spoke about the troubles they've dealt with in their career and the mistakes they made in regards to the Ja Morant situation, that obviously has happened this season, that's what they were talking about. They made mistakes at that stop. Obviously, there was also Stack had a bit of a rep because of the malice at the palace and that too. But these 2 guys weren't the best together. I mean, that team was full of, let's be honest, that team was full of a bunch of guys that were probably, and that's why the slogan "We Believe" is so great, because they probably weren't believed in to be able to do even what they did. I mean, like I said, they obviously got bounced in the second round by a tough Utah Jazz unit at that time. Still put 2 games on them, but to beat the team that played in the finals the year before, right, in the Mavs, that had been beaten by the Heat, right? I'm on the right time frame there, right? They played against the Heat the year before, the number 1 seed in the West.
I had to rethink that in my head. I'm like,
05-06 Mavs v Heat finals. So they went on to play the number 1 seed as the 8th seed and beat them. So it's reminiscent of also what the Knicks obviously did in '99. There's that too. But yeah, man, just such a tough team. We believe such an apt slogan for that team. Obviously, as you said, 16-5 in their last, but in just the last month, man, they were 8-1 in April, which is impressive out of 9 games.
8-1?
Yeah, 8-1. And they were 8-6 in March, the month before. They were actually 10-1 at home in the last 2 months of the season. So they only dropped 1 game at home, man.
They were hooping. That's what you call organized together. What?
Y'all want to hear a little fun fact on that team? Steven Jackson, actually, I remember the interview, he was talking about it. He said that he would actually play games while he was high, and he would play much better. That's crazy. go read up on that.
It's Snoop Dogg.
Yeah,
what? That was wicked.
Smoking weed, and he's out there hooping right before the game.
Now, this is crazy, right? Now, I don't know if y'all know this, or even the people out here watching it or listening to it today, right? I'm doing research on this team, and I'm like, all right, let me see what's something that would stand out that would catch me off guard. Like, I'm used to seeing numbers, how stats look. I get to salary, right? You know how per year these players be making buku bread. Like, we complain about giving certain players $20 million a year, right? We complain about that. Could you believe? Now, when I say this, I'm still shocked. Could you believe at this point in time, at the player that Baron Davis was giving us, the elite level of talent, the man was only getting paid $15 million a year?
Insane.
Let me let that sink in again. Baron Davis was getting paid $15 million a year. The next person closest to him was Jason Richardson at 9.9. When I researched this, I literally wanted to drop my computer and be like, boy, how much have times changed? And the things that we complain about with players is like, we might want to fall back a little bit because our top guy could have been getting paid $15 million a year. Like, this is crazy. Baron Davis made $15 million a year. That don't make no sense with me saying it. How do y'all feel about that? Just hearing that.
Well,
a player of his caliber and what he meant to that team. I'll put it this way, man. Baron Davis doesn't play on that team, they don't beat the Mavericks. Because that dude literally was one of the biggest key factors in them beating the Mavericks in the first place. So for him to get paid that low of a salary, that goes to tell you, man, like how far the NBA has come. Where you got guys like Lou Dort making more than that right now. It's crazy.
Let's go and
look at saying on Lou Dort, but I'm saying like you got guys that were better, obviously, than Lou Dort. And the NBA now has come a long way with the salaries and stuff since then. But that goes to the conjuring what he meant to that team. And for the low amount of money he was making, you got a bang for your buck, man.
Well, and look at Jason Richardson, right? $9 million or whatever you said that was a year.
It's not 9.9, bro.
Yeah, okay. 9.9. That's not too much more than what Isaiah Hartenstein's on right now. I think so. That's
like, boy, that don't make no sense, bro. Look. Let's be real here, bro. We talking about Jason Richardson. I'm talking about jumping out the gym, dunk champion. Could have been 2-time dunk champion. Got paid 9.9 for a guy. No disrespect to Hart, and we're not talking about this team, but you got to compare it to my son Josh Hart. Literally, is about to finally go to his first playoffs. No matter how much he gives you, he going to his first playoffs. That man was talented out the gate, super could shoot out. Jason Richardson was baby Vince Carter, legit, all around baby Vince Carter. To watch and learn that he only got paid 9.9 is crazy to me, bro. That there's no way around how crazy that sounds, especially when we had a Carmelo in the league at this time. We got a LeBron in this league. LeBron is already in Miami. This don't make no sense. Like, these contract numbers don't make sense.
Not in Miami yet. He was still in Cleveland at this point.
He was still in Cleveland?
06, 07. He didn't get to you're probably confusing it because Dallas. He didn't get to Miami until 2010, right? So this is a few years.
Yeah, you're right on this.
But
either way, though,
LeBron's still on his rookie scale.
LeBron was still making way more than that. His rookie scale was more than that. Like, what? We talking about LeBron when he came into the league, bro. He was making way more than 9.9 million, bro. Like, what?
Yeah, and
even if you go down a couple of players, they were still making more than 9.9, and we're worse than him.
Yeah, you look at what some of the guys would have been getting paid for the time, even, and that weren't as talented. There definitely would have been. I'm sure there was a lot of players getting paid way more than that. You got guys that come in the league now that are would get picked at like inside the lottery. You could be late lottery too, and you're probably getting around the 7-8.
But that's besides the point, though, man. At the end of the day, bro, I know you wanted to get into it, and I'm actually re-looking at it again. Just let the people know this team was actually a true problem, bro. Just their overall team play was out of this world. Go ahead, break that down a little bit, Smitty, for the people, because play was crazy.
This team, they shot, on the season, they had 46% from the from the field as a whole. They were 50% from 2-point range, and they were 35% from three, which at that time is pretty good. I mean, you can't really knock that, right? Yeah,
That's
man.
definitely what top 15 stats.
Yeah, and I mean,
at that time.
there was 7 players in double digit. 5 of those were starters, or 4 starters and 1 a 6-man. So and that's 11 points plus. It's big numbers, man. I mean, obviously Monte Ellis went to stay on, and then he was the main feature there for some time, and obviously we know what happened there with the Curry. They chose Curry over him, which turned into whatever it is. But I mean, Monte Ellis was excuse my language, was a tough player at the time. And he was young. Yeah, and he was young as hell, and then man, it was a team that had some really good talent and worked really well together. It was unfortunate they didn't get out of the second round, but to beat that Mavs team, the first seeded Mavs. I mean, this team only had 42-40 on the season, 42 wins, 40 losses. Like, they were literally 1 game over 500. I mean, technically 2 games over 500, right? I mean, it's they were
Weren't they dead last year though? The year before that?
Yeah,
that was.
Yeah, that would. I mean, that was. Yeah, and they were 13, as Ariel gave us the stat for. What was it? 13-year playoff drought they broke.
13-year playoff drought they broke, bro. That shit is crazy.
Right, and they broke it in style by beating the number 1 seeded team that had played in the finals the year before against, obviously, the eventual against that D Wade and Shaq Heat team that went on to become champions and beat them. But I mean, just nuts, man. 4-2. I mean, it only went to 6 against the Mavs as well, so it wasn't even 7-game series. And they lost, obviously, eventually to the 4th seeded Jazz, which is not a bad thing when you're the 8th seed in the second round.
The Jazz were good that year too, so the Jazz weren't no slouches either.
No, that's right. The Jazz would have been.
This is the Mike Conley. Who's on this?
No, Jazz would have had Devon Williams, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Williams. Who else was on this team with them?
AK-47.
They had Andre Karolinko, AK-47.
Yeah, AK-47. Carlos Boozer.
Mm-hmm. Karolinko on his prime.
See, at this time, I'm thinking AK-47's not there right now.
This is when the Jazz.
This is prime AK-47 we talking about.
That's prime. Not Brooklyn Nets washed up.
Yeah.
AK-47.
No, I wasn't going that far. But he was out here taking.
This is when the Jazz was wearing those light blue joints with the Jazz written across the front in that old school text. That was a tough team, man, a very tough team. So they would have been facing up players like that.
I'm not even going to hold you. That's a team we're going to have to bring up one of these shows. That team is I got to bring that team.
Well, they went on to the Western Conference Final in this same year. After beating.
Wasn't that the last time they've been there?
I think it is, right? Yeah.
They had Raja.
Before that, they used to. And that's before he went to the Suns, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had Raja Bell on that team, the Jazz.
But yeah, I mean, look, man, getting back to this Warriors team, right? I mean, listen to the name of the players. Like, these are guys that a lot of people know, or are considered, I guess, cult figures or what have you. And so you had Steven Jackson, Monte Ellis, Al Harrington, Matt Barnes, Baron Davis, obviously, Mike Dunleavy, Donald Foyle, and Jason Richardson, just to mention a few. Plus, Andrus Biedrins, Michael Petrus. There's some names on there that were like guys that were sort of cult figures, or like at that era too. These are the people that everyone's like, oh, you see this, you see this, like jump out the gym players.
I keep forgetting about Mike Dunleavy though. Like,
I forgot about Dunleavy.
I'm about to say, like, I keep looking at this like, bro, that's his dad. Like, bro, we used to watch his dad play, bro.
I mean, man, but this team was just I remember it, man, and I remember it vividly. The obviously the orange, the alternate jersey they wore. I love those things with the Warriors word mark. They obviously had the different logo and the different styling back then.
With that bolt on the side of it.
Yeah, with the bolt underneath the Warriors.
The original logo was actually better to me. Like, I like that mannequin looking type style.
Yeah, that was fire. Cool.
Just an era.
I like the road jersey.
Yeah, that was
the road blue and orange one.
Yeah,
and yellow.
Sure. I like the alternate orange, but man, just such a tough team and so nostalgic. I mean, like, you think that logo, right? Obviously, the Warriors have a different logo on that now, and people may be listening and thinking, like, why are we talking about this? Because, that was, if I think old Warriors logo, this is the team I think of. You don't even have to say we believe. You don't even have to say the team. I see that logo, I'm thinking of, Baron Davis, all these dudes, Monte Ellis, etc. So, man, look, this was a team that I was on the bridge of, for me, primary school, school going into high school, the year that this happened. So, yeah, man, this is a team that stuck out to me and was part of like, that transitioning age into a teenage years.
Yo, this is why I'm saying like I wasn't even supposed to be watching this game when it came on at this time, because look at the year 06, 07. I didn't get to high school till 08. Like, you understand that? I didn't get to high school till 08, bro. Like, I'm not supposed to be watching this game. Like,
damn, I was just 21. I just was able to drink alcohol legally.
You hear this, bro? I didn't even crack 13 yet, bro. Like, I didn't even get to 13. Like, what, bro? I'm still like 12, bro.
I was 12 going on 13. So, in 06, 07. So,
that's what I'm saying. Like, bro, we were young. Like, look at that. My son would say he was 21.
You know what I was using them on? I was using them on PSP. The handheld, we used to have PSP. I used to play with them on PSP.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, look,
when I was taking the bus.
This is a team now that I like. It's a retro team, obviously on the classic teams on 2K, and this is a team I often use if I decide I'm just going to play around with an old team. Man, like I said, such a nostalgic team, and so many good memories watching that team. I mean, a lot of people. Baron Davis was the talk of the town. Monte Ellis, everybody loved him too. Yeah, a tough team, man. This is when you said the Warriors, and it wasn't. It's weird because you say the Warriors now, and it's like, okay, Curry, blah 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 blah. This team for me, I don't know about for anyone else, is more iconic because obviously the Warriors, obviously what they've done now in this team. I say that in a way because, like I said, it was more of an imprint on my. Like that age, that coming of age stuff where I was like 12 going into 13, it really stuck with me. These are like almost, and it's an era gone, right? Whereas by the time Curry and that did, I was like in my early 20s by the time Curry and that started winning their championships and all that sort of stuff. I feel this team is super iconic, even though they didn't win a championship or nothing. Just the swagger, the style they played, and like, it's still the long shorts, the oversized jerseys, stacking that, didn't care about none of that shit. Like they were, this is just an unbelievable team, man. Unbelievable team that was so fun, and it's a big part of my childhood. So,
shoot, truthfully speaking, bro, I think the main factor for me that made this team like something like, okay, I don't mind talking about this. I always felt like, bro, this was the coming out party for Monte Ellis, and to watch how they chose Steph over him, I felt some kind of way. But then to see how it went out was like, that did a good job. And it's not like, they left on bad terms or nothing like that. I just personally felt the way because, Monte was different, bro. Especially 21-year-old Monte Ellis.
Yeah, he was a bucket.
Forget a bucket, bro.
Bucket.
You know what it was? At that time, he reminded me and gave me glimpses of, damn, I'm looking at Brandon Roy again. Yeah. That's why I was like, honestly, that's why I was like, you know what? I like this dude because I was mad when Brandon Roy went down. Because let's be real here. If things went right, Dame would be playing with Brandon Roy at this moment. So it's like to watch how I seen Monte Ellis come into his own, and then he got to play with Steph, and then they broke that apart when it probably could have been him, Steph, and Clay. I really wanted to see that. I wanted to see what it possibly could have been if it went that way. But other than that, man, this team was crazy. And of course, they had one of my favorite dunkers of all time, too. Like, bro, I'm not letting nobody say nothing. Jason Richardson was that guy. Like, he was that guy, bro. The iconic.
Yeah.
You feel me? Once you finish, you know how he did a little finger, though.
Yeah, I mean, man, what a time, especially it's sort of as well some of the best dunk contests involved him as well for memory. Just like I said, man, we were end of our what we call primary school over here. It's kind of like elementary. That's the end of that year, and that stuff influences you when you're at that age. People are talking about that stuff. Those highlights. I mean, this is around the early days of YouTube as well. I think YouTube's only like a year old at this point, maybe 2 at best. And so you're up as kids. We're like we're not meant to be awake, but we're up on weekends, like, you know, on the computer, looking up YouTube. You know, this is the stuff I was looking up, highlights from Baron Davis, you know, the Warriors, blah, 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 blah. And like, you know, just
Nah, this was the epitome of, if you didn't know about this team or you didn't search this team, you couldn't even go to school and have a conversation with your friends the next day.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even know what was going on. They'll tell you everything, and you just be like, "Bro, try to lie." Like, yeah, I seen the game too, bro. They ask you a certain joint, you be like, "You know I saw the game. You know I saw the game." No, you didn't. You didn't watch the game. Start cutting mad stuff when you just start chopping. You like, he ain't seen a game.
Yeah.
He ain't got no cable. Like,
you got like bullied into watching these guys or making sure you saw something so you could talk about it because it was the hot topic, right? I mean, Ariel being young and a young man, and talk to us a little bit about that before we finish up, Ariel. Obviously, you just able to drink alcohol. I'm sure you.
I was able to consume alcohol.
Yeah,
when they went on that run.
I'm sure you
I remember.
I'm sure you got to watch. I'm sure you got to watch it in bars and stuff. At sometimes you probably would have been in a bar.
I would actually not. At that time, I was watching. I remember I was in my mother's basement because she had gave me the basement as my room at that time. So I had this big ass, like, you know, when you got those big like 45-inch TVs, but they got the big back.
Yeah, the big projection.
You know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah. So I was watching it on that, and I'm sitting there watching this, and I'm in my head, I'm already like, yo, this is not happening, right? Like, this is like New York Knicks. In my mind, it was like, this is New York Knicks beating Miami all over again. Like, nobody gave these guys a chance at all. Like, they thought everybody was saying, all the predictors, I remember, like, pregame, they were saying they were going to get swept. That there's no way, all right, they finished the season strong, but Dallas has the more potent, more, you know, better, more well-rounded team. And next thing you know, when I saw them beat them the first time, I said, yo, this could actually happen. Because I've seen this story play out before. Like, because me, I've been watching basketball since '93. So, like, I've seen teams that weren't supposed to beat, like, AFC, you know, low seed teams beat a number one. And I'm like, this is history repeating itself right now, because I don't think Dallas is taking these guys serious. I think they kind of like took the gas off the pedal off the gas, you know what I'm saying? Because you could just see that the Warriors wanted that, bro. Yeah, the Warriors wanted it more, man. So, like, when they did that, and I was actually like, wow, like, this is phenomenal, man. And seeing them do that, it was just like something that I'll never forget, because, like, even to this day, like, we're still talking, like, even before we decided to do this show, like, I've talked about this like last year to somebody, like, when we start talking about teams that like play, like, overachieve, like, yo, remember when that Warriors team beat the Mavericks, yo? The Mavericks were loaded, bro. I don't know how they did it. They had a bunch of mid-ass players with two good players on their team and a bunch of role players, and they were able to beat the Dallas Mavericks. That's incredible.
What that sound like right now in the current 2023 realm, though? What team?
It sound like the Blue Orange squad.
That's not funny. Like, it really sounds like us. Here sounds like we believe back then.
It does, and I actually think we're better. We have more of a foundation.
Oh yeah, we're way better. We're way better. You seen the names on that list. You know we way better than them. Like, I'm sorry. Like, let's not. True. I love them guys, but them guys. Yeah.
And I hope we do, man. I hope it makes the history books, man, because that team made the history books, and it'll be nice if we could do that, get that other check, because we did it before.
No doubt, man. And look, this is a great team, man. But appreciate you guys joining me as always, man. It's been another great episode. We like to keep this new format short, man. Just a little bit of a trip down memory lane. We're going to be coming back to you guys with some more stuff soon. Trust me, on the whiteboard back here, I got some teams lined up, man. We're going to be talking about historical teams.
Matter of fact, before we get right, why don't we let's just tell the people what we're going to do next. What's going to be the next episode? Let's go down the board and let's figure out which one's going to be next, huh?
All right. So
this time, you're not even going to ask us. Just close your eyes and put your name on the board and pick it.
All right, so we got the 2000-2001 Raptors. Obviously, Vince Carter. They were beaten out obviously that year by the 76ers that went on to play in the finals. We also have the 01-02 Sacramento Kings, who arguably were robbed because they took the Lakers to 7. That turned out to be Tim Donaghy was reffing that series. Tim Donaghy was reffing that series, and obviously we know now the accusations that happened after that. So there's a potential. We're going to talk about Were they robbed? Weren't they? And then obviously we've got a couple other special ones lined up. We're not going to do teams. We're going to do draft classes. I'm not going to say which ones. Obviously, there's some historic ones.
To get ready.
Yeah, so get ready for that. But I appreciate all you guys, for joining me again, and everyone that tunes in and listens to this, man, and makes this possible. Another great episode with talking about great teams and a bit of trip down memory lane. So salute to everybody, man. Appreciate you all coming in, listening, and to my co-hosts, of course, Trippy OG and Ariel, man. Appreciate you guys. But this has been another episode of Past, Present, and Future.